Well, hello there and welcome to issue number 131, and this issue is all about the Gemini dog. And as you can see on the caption prior to the video, those are all the dates you have to be in this Western and Eastern astrological zodiac combination. So any questions, any comments, as I always say on my videos, they're very welcome. I like people to get involved and give their points of view, or if it's been of any help or anything like that, please don't hesitate, drop me a line or anything, message, whatever you like, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible and get some discussion going. That'd be fab. So anyway, let's start right at the beginning then with the Gemini dog as a child. Now, the Gemini, as we've spoken about, is a very happy child. They're a very inquisitive and a very friendly child. They're very bright. Everything's very mental for them. They're not so hands-on, but they're very, they get really into sort of like puzzle solving, things like this. So, but when we bring the dog into play, now the dog, they're very family orientated. They love their family. They don't like to be away from the family, in truth, and it's quite hard to get them to go to school. But with the Gemini in there, it makes it a bit easier. They're a bit more freer, shall we say. But whenever they are at school and when they stop going to school, they look as though they've always got a furrowed brow. They look as though they're worrying about something consistently. But don't panic, because that's just the way they are. They tend to grow up very quickly. They are very, very aware of, their surroundings. Their fear of failure as well goes with the dog. They're quite pessimistic, and although that's totally out of sync with the Gemini, it does change this Gemini quite a bit. Normally, as I say, where you've got this free-flowing, mentally bright and effervescent sort of child, you've got one that's much more in their shell, looks slightly worried, may have 3 or 4 really close friends. They're not one for masses of crowds, which is again very un-Gemini, but it's only a veneer they put on because they're naturally worried. They naturally have that worried look because they're always thinking. This is perpetual motion of the mind, and it may not necessarily be about signs or school, the school work, or there's not certain signs you look for why they're like this. They won't just worry about homework or anything like that. It'd be all manner of things. They'd be worried about their mum and dad. They'd be worried about their siblings, and just about life in general. And as I say, they grow up quickly. They grow up feeling responsible for quite a lot of people, but very close to them. As we know, the dog is very compassionate and very caring. But with this combination, it starts very much at home. They won't just be caring just for anybody, that comes in contact with them with a sob story. They will generally have a lot of these worries, and they carry these about with them. And it checks this Gemini effervescentness back quite a bit. So they seem a little bit more solitary, or if not exactly solitary, more in a select crowd rather than big groups and everybody's friends. They wouldn't be disliked, don't get me wrong, but they don't give a lot of themselves only to these certain people, so they do enough to get by, say hello, how's it going, that'll be all you get. They don't make enemies really, so they very much wrapped up in their own little world. And as we go through the school time, and we get to the college times, possibly the university, but we've said about the dog and the Gemini dog, because it's very mental, they're very worried about failure. Sometimes they don't talk at the right time, they can be bright, but they fear of saying the wrong thing. It feels as though they check themselves back. So will they go on to further education? I don't know. I would like them to. I would like them to try and break the shackles a little, because the Gemini dog really has to break the shackles and put their hand up. And if they're wrong, they're wrong. Everybody's wrong. But sometimes, as I say, that fear of failure, absolutely, and maybe just getting out into the real world, earning quickly, I think is more down their street. they'll be fine. They'll be actually very good working with family, because it'll be something that's passed down to them, being shown the ropes. They don't mind failing in front of their family or their close friends. If they get that wrong, it's not a problem. But with strangers and mixing with, in that big outside world, they're not ones to really move out of their zone. They like their comfort zone and they like to stay there. And as I say, this is unusual for the Gemini, but this is what we've got with this character. Once they do relax, and I really want them to relax and get that fear of failure out their mind, if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. Because what the Gemini is fantastic at is bouncing back. If things do go wrong, Gemini dog out there, you've got to remember, you've got to check this dog back, this pessimistic dog back, and remember, the Gemini bounces back. They can be on the floor, but they bounce back very quick. They can change tact. They're very adaptable. They're great communicators. So once you break them shackles and you think, hey, it's all right, it can go wrong, and it's not a problem. I can come back and I'll be bigger, I'll be better, I'll be stronger. Don't lick your wounds, go away thinking, wow, that was desperate. I got really low and I got really pessimistic about that failure. Geminis, on the whole, just say, okay, brush myself down, come back with a better mindset. They change it all around. They can turn it full circle and they will succeed. So Gemini dog, you've got to remember, you have the resources in there to overcome, and don't let that pessimism stop you. Don't let it hold you back, because I want all that compassion shown out there into the world. It's fantastic how you are with your family. That is fantastic. But spread your wings a bit. Lighten up a little, because once you let that Gemini charm come out, and that lust for life, and the great dog side, where they're compassionate, they're caring, they have a wonderful sense of humour, and once they get laughing, they get chatting, they're great. This is a wonderful combination, but it needs to break out that shell. You really have to do that. And I really think it's a responsibility of your family as well to give you a little push. It's good that you might get pushed into a scenario that's out of your comfort zone. You might think, geez, where's my safety net? But it will actually kick the Gemini into play and say, right, I'm adaptable, I'm resourceful, and they spring into action. Remember, the mental prowess of the Gemini, they always work a way out. They're great puzzle solvers, so they will work their way through it. So, your family, your siblings, your close cousins, all those people you look up to and love, they've got to be responsible, giving you a nudge, saying, go on, have a try, have a go for it. And they've got to give you a little nudge. And once you build up that confidence, the confidence issue, once that's built up, you can have a fantastic future. Your perspective's completely opened up, and then you look at things in that Gemini way, but we've got that caring, loving dog side, and the compassion for human beings, and also the animal kingdom. And that compassion is so wonderful when the dog opens up. So who are going to be the right characters who's got the key, who's going to unlock this combination? Well, Gemini dogs don't tend to really rush into relationships. They would love a very steady relationship, and they'd love to build it and build it. Normally a friend of the family, who could be a friend of one of their siblings they get close to, something like that tends to happen. So they're looking for that, that solidity. Well, we have to find the right mixtures, and if you branch out, you can still find that right person that will bring all these best things out in you, and you bring out in them. So let us look for, with the Gemini dog, we always have to look for the horse. The horse, they're unpredictable, yes, and they will nudge you, and they will test you, and they will be so encouraging. They're very gifted and skilled themselves, so you won't feel as though, oh, I'm being pushed out there by somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. You've been cajoled by somebody who's very skillful and intelligent and knows the right way about things. So you're going to respond to that. You're going to be out of your comfort zone, which is fantastic. And likewise, the horse is going to get that lovely caring, compassionate, and that all-consuming love that you bring. You bring that dedication to the floor. And plus, with the Gemini dog, they need a bit warming up sexually. Well, the horse has all the prowess and the kindness and the time to bring out that side of you, bring out that nature, and you know, it could be such a fulfilling relationship. So I want to see you, Gemini dog. I want to see you with the Leo horse, the Libran horse, the Aquarius horse, and the Aries horse. Those 4 are the best matches of the horse family. And also the tigers. The tigers, they pioneer into areas, you know, and they're so upright. They fight for justice. Justice intrigues you, and it takes you into areas where you can care for the, you know, when it was the minor strikes or anything like that, you can care for these people. And the tiger's doing exactly the same. You bring out that compassionate side in each other, and there's a kindred spirit here. There's such an intellectual bond as well. And again, the tiger can warm you up, because they are going to know that you're going to need a little bit of you know, cajoling. And when you have that quiet time together after you've helped so many people, which a tiger dog combination never fails to help a lot of people. When they team up together, they are wonderful. But when you have that quiet time together, you're going to say, you know, you heal very well together. Any of the wounds through the day or through the week, you talk it through. You love to cuddle, you love to caress. The tiger's there to give all of that, you know, that little warmth up, and that little bit of saying, hey, come on, breaking down the barriers of the Gemini dog, and they do it excellently. So let's look at the Libran tiger, the Leo tiger, the Aries tiger, and also the Aquarius tiger. They are the best matches. The ones we have to avoid, well, it's the dragon. The dragon always, and of all Western denominations, because the dragon's bold, they're powerful, they're all conquering, they're too much for the dog. It unsettles the dog. It doesn't push them to places where they don't want to go. It absolutely swamps them. And then the dog's pessimism, then their ultra bitter sarcasm comes out and snaps at the dragon, whose ego is then really hurt. And then all you do is you get a lot of aggro on your play. So please avoid each other. It's a very, very hurtful and damaging relationship all round. So let's avoid that. With the Gemini dogs, one thing we have to look at is respiratory. The Geminis do suffer bronchically, and also with the shoulder blades, collarbones, etc. like that. They're very, very vulnerable and quite weak here and in the chest. And the dog also, because sometimes when they're worrying, they've got worry about, it can affect their immune, and the first thing that gets hit is their chest. So, you know, be very careful there, Gemini dogs, and you know, keep an eye. And remember, when you overly get pessimistic, your immune system starts going right down, and then you are, you know how much you suffer with that. So please keep an eye on that. Well, thank you for tuning in, and please join me for the next issue. Thank you.